Working on a Simplex steam locomotive. Part 1, the overview. This small live steam locomotive is a Martin Evans design called a Simplex. This one has been converted to resemble a Great Western Railway prairie tank. It is not in very good condition, as you will see. All clips in this compilation video are taken from the full series, which was highly detailed and ran for over 100 episodes. What is a Simplex? Well, a Simplex 060 tank is a design by Martin Evans. A very popular design. In fact, the first locomotive that I ever built was a Simplex. I never completed it. I finished the rolling chassis, but at the time I just couldn't afford a boiler. In the Simplex book there's a general arrangement drawing, and here it is. And as you can see, it does look a little bit like an LMS Ginty, except it has external Walschaerts valve gear, and LMS Ginty has internal valve gear. This Simplex has been modified to resemble a Great Western Railway prairie tank, and here are some more parts of it on the other bench. I've been asked for an estimate of the costs involved in repairing this Simplex prairie tank, including painting and refinishing. Behind the superstructure is a brand new boiler, to replace the leaky one that was originally with the engine. The owner was telling me that he ran it for about 5 years, and then unfortunately it failed its boiler test. In the worst possible way, leaks inside the firebox, and leaks inside the firebox on an old copper boiler can be quite difficult to repair. So that copper boiler went to the copper boiler graveyard in the sky, and behind the superstructure is a brand new boiler, so I know this is going to be okay. It's very well made, and it's been hydraulically tested. In fact, if you look closely, the blanking plugs are still in place. For some reason, the steam chest covers have been removed. So before I can see whether or not the thing runs, I need to replace these covers. The initial impression that I got was it's very well made. I'll move the camera across the top of the chassis and have a closer look. First of all, the oil pump, complete with a very leaky pipe. The next part is the connection to the superheater element, followed by the blast pipe connection, or if you want to simplify it, the steam inlet and exhaust outlet. I don't much like the bent bolt on the operating arm for the drain cocks. I left the camera looking at the axle pump, which appears to be very well made and very substantial. Does it work? I don't know. I'll find out in due course. I took this opportunity to oil every moving part of the engine, because very shortly I'm going to replace the valve chest covers and see whether it runs or not. The oil that I'm using is my normal Hallett Oils bearing lubricating oil. This is a really nice touch. Over the rear axle is a shroud. I must admit you do not see this very often. This shroud prevents the ash from the ash pan from contaminating the main axle, because the rear axle of a steam locomotive is not in a good place. Now it's time to assess the state of the valve gear. The crosshead seems to be very sloppy, up and down movement and side to side movement on the small end, and in this close-up you can see quite a lot of movement. Wear in this area is very common, and it's not too difficult to put it right. I just make a new bush for the small end of the connecting rod and maybe a new pin for the crosshead. The whole thing also needs a major clean-up. On the other hand, this is a bit of a worry. The main crank pin is loose in the wheel. By the feel of it, it's actually pinned into the wheel, but there's a lot of slop, and you can move the return crank up and down and side to side. But it's not the return crank that's loose, that's well secured to the crank pin, which isn't secured very well into the wheel. Obviously I'm going to rebush the connecting rod, so I need to remove the return crank anyway, but this problem of movement of the crank pin in the wheel could be quite serious. I don't know yet. It could be something as simple as cleaning the wheel and the crank pin thoroughly, then fitting it back in place with some Loctite 603. Either way, other parts like the connecting rods have to come off, and maybe the central wheel set. Let's have a look at the slide valves in the steam chest. Well, they're very dirty. I think these covers have been off for quite a long time. And all around the studs are the remains of some gasket material. Thankfully though, I can't see any silicone rubber. In this clip I'm just checking the valve timing by rotating the wheel and observing when the ports open. And the good news is the valve events appear to be fine. I'm taking this opportunity to pump in quite a lot of steam oil, anticipating a compressed air test when I've cleaned off all the gasket material, and I'm also going to clean up the steam chest covers before I refit them properly, not forgetting a brand new gasket at each side. This is the oil feed pipe to the cylinder underneath the front, and it's leaking very badly. When I rotate the wheel on the lubricator, all the oil comes out of the side of the pipe. This is not a good thing. It's very visible and easy to see and needed repairing a long time ago. Time to have a look in the box of bits. Here's the ash pan, and here's the grate. The ash pan's a bit bent, but the grate looks fine. There are quite a few bits in this box. I know what they all are, I think, if I look at them for long enough. The short piece of tubing in the clear plastic box is called a petticoat pipe, and this focuses the blast from the exhaust up the chimney. Talking about chimneys, here's the chimney. It's a good bit shorter than the one on the Simplex drawing, because this is a Great Western style chimney. These are the parts that I'm looking for, the steam chest covers. They're very dirty, as are my hands. In the box of bits I found a steam turret, but it's nowhere near fitting the new boiler. So making a new turret is yet another job that I will have to do, and making all these extra parts does of course take extra time. Very shortly I'm going to really clean up the top of these cylinders. Now though, I'm just giving them a light brush over with a paintbrush, so I can temporarily bolt the steam chest covers back in place in order to find out if the engine runs, or not, as the case may be. I found the 5BA nuts in the bottom of the plastic box. I'm not going to fit them all, just enough to hold the cylinder cover tightly onto the steam chest. They're not going to be steam tight anyway because the bits of gasket are well broken up. I've connected the air line into the steam inlet, and when I press the trigger, this is what happens. Very little, although I can see that one of the drain cocks is working. And that's it for this initial assessment. Stay safe, stay well, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my main Steam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.